John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is 24K signing in. Just doing a quick review of Monday Night Raw, May 19th, 2014 edition in the UK, in London, which was awesome. The crowds in London and in the UK are usually awesome, and they're very vocal and loud, and it's great, and it just makes the show even better. Even though the show wasn't great overall, in my opinion, it makes it better. And usually the London crowds are more vocal than the crowds in the US. That's not to say that US crowds can't get loud, because they do sometimes, but other times the US crowds don't get really into it. So anyways, the show opens up with Cena ambushing Bray Wyatt, and Cena basically just attacked Bray Wyatt, and then he ran out of the ring away from Harper and Rowan. And here's the thing. I really like the Wyatts. I think they're one of the most interesting, among the most interesting characters in the WWE right now, especially Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is awesome on the mic. He can really cut a promo. John Cena, on the other hand, he is old. His character is old. Boring. Same crap for years now. The majority of the crowd doesn't like this guy, aside from kids and maybe some women. But for the most part, the crowd does not like this guy. Turn him heel already. He's already getting booed. Turn him heel. The thing is that I think he's gotten lazy. At least he appears that way. He doesn't really care, in my opinion. He just cares about selling his latest t-shirt. What is he up to? His 100th t-shirt? I mean, okay. Outside of the ring, he may be a great person with all the make-a-wishes he does and the things he does for the troops and stuff like that. I'm not going to criticize him for that. Those are great things. But in the ring, he is boring. And, I mean, it's like, come on, change up his character a little bit. It's so freaking boring. And I'm afraid that he's going to win at Payback, and he's going to screw up Bray Wyatt's character and the Wyatt family and their storyline. I really hope the Wyatts win, but I can see Cena winning at Payback, and it's going to suck if he does. Okay, moving on. Then you got Cesaro versus Sheamus. This was actually a pretty good match, and the crowd didn't really receive Sheamus very well. On the other hand, Cesaro got a very good reception from the crowd, and I'm happy that Cesaro won. And I thought this was a pretty good match. Although, I don't like the way Cesaro won. He won via distraction. Paul Heyman distracted Sheamus. So in a sense, that kind of didn't necessarily make Cesaro weak, but it was a kind of a cheap win. And the thing is that it didn't really make Sheamus look too weak either, since it was a cheap win, but it's a win nonetheless. So Cesaro won. I was really hoping he would do the Cesaro swing, but he didn't. Okay. Next match, Big E versus Ryback, and this was a beat the clock match. They had a few of these throughout the night. Whoever pinned their opponent in the quickest amount of time went on to face Barrett at Payback for the Intercontinental Championship. So, anyways, Big E won in about 5 minutes and 2 seconds, I want to say, against Ryback. It was a battle of the heavyweights, like two big guys, and I don't know, the match was alright, but it didn't really do it for me. I think Big E, he had a lot of momentum months ago when he had the title, but the thing is that, and the crowd got really behind him, but the thing is that for the most part, his character's kind of boring, and he's definitely athletic, of course. I mean, they all are. Most of them are, but he needs a gimmick, and for him to get the crowd back on his side, he needs to talk a little bit more, cut some promos, and he needs some type of gimmick. And for Ryback to get the crowd on his side again, they need to turn him face. I miss those Feed Me More chants. I think the crowd said some of those Feed Me More chants, but I miss those chants when the crowd really got into it when he was a face, when he first came into the WWE. Next match. Now, this wasn't really a match. Because nothing happened. Well, something happened before the match. but there was no match. It was R-Truth. It was supposed to be R-Truth versus Fandango, but it didn't happen. As expected, the crowd really got into Fandango music, and that was great. And if you think about it, a couple years ago after WrestleMania, I think the crowd really saved Fandango's character. I'm not good at it, but anyways, because they were humming his music, and the crowd really got into it, and it's fun to hum. Dun, 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 dun. That actually, maybe that's so like I Dream of Jeannie. Well, you get the point. Anyways, so fast forward a couple years, the character still exists. So I think that character was getting ready to get buried, but that crowd after WrestleMania a couple years ago saved him, and a lot of people in that crowd were from the UK and overseas as well. So, anyways, and R-Truth came out into the ring first with the Funkadactyls. Well, they were the Funkadactyls. I don't know what they're really called now. Maybe they still are called them, but we haven't really seen Brutus Clay in a while. And then Fandango comes into the ring with Layla. Layla got me by my knees. Okay, bad. Okay, I'm not gonna sing it. Anyways, then Summer Rae comes out, and Summer Rae is pissed. She kissed Fandango and starts kicking Layla's butt, and that was that. There was no match. I kind of was hoping that there was a match, because the thing is that if there was a match, I was hoping that Fandango would win so they could play his music again and the crowd would get really into it. But whatever. This was like 2 minutes. Okay, moving on. Stephanie, I love this. This is great. You hear the yes, yes, yes. You hear Daniel Bryan's music. The crowd thinks Daniel Bryan's there. He just had surgery in the U.S. You gotta realize that he's most likely not going to be there. But anyways, I guess that's a lot easier for me to say because I wasn't actually there. I would have got excited too if I heard Daniel Bryan's music. Anyway, Stephanie McMahon comes out with music. The crowd's like, no, no, no. They quickly changed. That was great. I thought that was awesome. So Stephanie trolled the crowd a little bit, and she was like, okay, so who's going to have the title next? Is it going to be Kane? Boo! Is it going to be Batista? Bootista! Is it going to be my husband Triple H? And I thought that was a great promo. I thought that was a great moment in the show. But here's the thing. Daniel Bryan's going to be out for at least a few months, if not more. Who knows exactly how many months, but as much as he deserves the title, if he's going to be out for an extended period of time, the WWE has no choice but to strip him of the belt, unfortunately. I mean, they can't just have no one have it for that period of time. Someone has to have it. So it's going to be interesting to see how exactly they're going to, have the wrestlers win the belt, like, and who, how, when, where, probably at Payback, I would imagine, but who knows for sure. So Daniel Bryan is going to either be stripped of the belt or relinquish the belt on next Monday night's Raw back in the States, the first Raw back in the States, I believe in Tennessee. So that should be an interesting moment in the show next week. I look forward to that moment. All right, I got my notes here, as you can see. Now, a lot went on in the show. There's a lot to cover, so some things I might just glance over, other things I'll talk about a little more, depending on how important I thought it was. Okay, Rusev versus 3MB. You have the 3MB come out with their Scotland, come out with their outfits with their, not Scotland, England flags on them, but of course, Rusev wins. Rusev equals boring. Yeah, okay, he's strong. I get it. He's a big, powerful guy. Like hundreds of other wrestlers have the same gimmick. I mean, this is like nothing new. I mean, Big E, it's the same thing. I mean, Big E needs a gimmick, like I said earlier. And so, okay, the best thing Rusev has going for him is Lana. Lana is great on the mic, even though I don't understand how the stuff she's saying because it's in Russian. But she really gets the crowd going. And I really still can't believe, in a way, that they have a character praising Putin. And, U.S. and Russia, they're not getting along very well, and Russia's not getting along with a lot of countries in the world. It's not just the U.S. But I think that's great. I think that's a great promo. But aside from that, it's boring. Rusev is boring. And the funny thing is that he's not even Russian. He's Bulgarian. So I'm curious to see the WWE address this issue of him not being really Russian. But anyways, whatever. He's going to lose eventually, and then I think his character is going to be put to the side probably within a few months. That's my prediction. He might win some type of belt, but a few months from now, he'll be kind of a side note, in my opinion. That's my prediction on him. All right. So, yeah, and the match wasn't even 2 minutes long. This was like so stupid. I guess the point of the match was to make him look dominant, and it served its purpose. He was dominant as usual. But he's going to lose one of these days. He really is. Moving on, and Heath Slater tapped out of his submission. Okay, enough said. Next match, RVD versus Alberto Del Rio. Now, Alberto Del Rio used to really have the fans behind him a couple years ago. Now the crowd doesn't really care. He needs a gimmick. He really does. They need to bring back the card gimmick or something. When he had that card gimmick, the crowd would go crazy for him. I don't know, maybe it got old, but he needs something. Because otherwise his character's just boring. And RVD, he's good at getting the crowd going. All he needs to say is RVD, and the crowd goes nuts for him. And RVD beat Alberto Del Rio, and in the beat the clock, I forgot how many minutes it took, but he beat him. I think it was in like 3 minutes and something seconds. So I'll get back to that in a little while. So again, this was for winning a bid to face Barrett, payback for the Intercontinental title. All right. Next match. This was pretty good, I thought. Well, good in a way. I really like Seth Rollins. He's a great wrestler, and this guy has a lot of potential, just like Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Versus Batista. I wish it was just one-on-one, purely one-on-one. But of course, the other members of the Shield. Not that I didn't mind seeing them, but of course, the other members of the Shield and the other members of Evolution got involved. And I mean, we've seen this play out for the past few weeks now, and I understand that they're trying to develop a feud, which is good. But the thing is that I don't know. It's getting boring in a way because it's so predictable that it doesn't matter who's facing who in a match. 9 times out of 10, if it's Triple H versus Reigns, I don't know if we saw that yet, but I'm just hypothetically speaking, Triple H versus Reigns or Ambrose, whatever, or Batista versus Ambrose. You know the other members of the Shield and the other members of Evolution are going to get involved in some way. At least I give the WWE credit, getting them involved in a more creative way. I thought it was kind of funny how Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose were the guest commentators, and Randy Orton was the timekeeper, and Triple H was a guest commentator, and so on and so forth. But you knew, obviously, that they were all going to get involved at some point during the match. And anytime Dean Ambrose, though, is on the mic is a good thing because he is awesome on the mic. I wish he talked more on the mic. He is great on the mic. Now, Reigns is a good wrestler, but he needs to learn how to be on the mic better. He needs to learn how to talk and articulate better on the mic. And Rollins is alright on the mic. Anyways, so this match was Rollins versus Batista, sort of, because the other guys, everyone got involved towards the end, which was predictable. And no one won that match. Triple H interfered, and it was a DQ. No one won, but it was entertaining nonetheless. Hold on for part